Hi, this is the voice of Heidie Calero with another challenging economic capsule, and this time it's regarding the shipping crisis that it's hitting not only the US, it's global, what has been happening after COVID-19 and the disruption that it is taking place in terms of all the supply chains. Puerto Rico seems to be living backwards in terms of not realizing that we are an island and that almost everything that we are consuming is importing. So on that score, we just want to make this capsule a reality for many people who do not understand what is happening. So let's look at the first graph that I am depicting here, and this is in the port of Los Angeles, but we can go to New York, we can go to Chicago, it's the same thing. Container ships cannot dock. And this is as of September 28, 2021. And notice the blue shaded area in this graph depicts the number of container ships anchored offshore. This is like the Pacific Ocean, just in front of California, with lots of ships, almost 100 ships that have not been able to dock, to discharge, to put all their unload in the port of California. And it's about 100, and it takes maybe 10 days to almost 2 weeks. And those ships that cannot unload, it's money that they are leaving on top of the ocean. Well, look at the yellow shaded area, and those are the number of container ships that did dock at port, and that's 25 ships as of September 28th, and that's on a daily basis. So you see the disparity. There are lots of ships that have not unloaded, they are still waiting to unload, and there are few that are unloading, and that really has to do with lack of investment in terms of the ports. And Puerto Rico, listen to this, you also have to invest in the ports in Puerto Rico. We are surrounded by water. We do not have the flexibility of trains. We do not have the flexibility of the US that maybe, and even they are facing challenges. Let's look at the another side of this crisis, and that's the number of empty containers which we are depicting in this second graph. Again, notice the blue shaded area in this graph in 2021. It indicates the exported empty containers. Now you would think, how come we are almost leaving like 6 million containers that are just being shipped, unloaded, empty? Isn't that leaving money? Well, the explanation is simple. The Asia route to the west coast of the US, it's now more lucrative if those empty containers, those go back to China very quickly, instead of going to the middle of the states to get food exports from the US to ship to other places. Instead of doing that, they decide, let's export these empty containers, because in that China west coast route, now that same container in October 2021 cost $20,586 per container. Notice the same container cost in July $10,290. So it's half of what it costs now in October. And in July, that was already twice what it cost in January of 2021 with $5,600. So, this is supply and demand. If the price is much higher in terms of those containers coming from Asia into the West Coast, they're going to ship those containers, those empty containers, to that route. Notice the exported loaded containers, it's much lower, which is the yellow shaded area. It's less than 2 million containers. And what are the implications of this disruption in the supply chains, this opening up of the economies, not only the US, but also in Puerto Rico? Now people are flying, people want, this is pent-up demand that has been sort of curtailed during this pandemic. Now we want toys, we want industrial parts, we want medical goods, we want computers, we want many of the things that we were not able to get during the pandemic. And notice in this table some of those shortages that are already rearing their head in the markets: computer chips, diapers, Clorox wipes, masks, other medical goods, toys, industrial parts, semiconductors, and that's just a taste of many of the things. Maybe you've gone to the supermarket and you don't see those shelves, even at these big chains like Walmart or maybe other supermarket chains. They do not look that full. Go to Costco, go to Home Depot. Some of those shelves are empty. Well, this is part of the reason. And of course, the next graph depicts, well, what is the end game for this? Inflation, prices are rising. And here I am depicting for you, in the blue line is the US Consumer Price Index on an annual basis, so that the same month is of 1 year is compared to the prior year. So it's on an annual basis. The latest figures is June of 2021, and that's 5.4% in the US, and in Puerto Rico it's close to 3%. These are official figures. I think that Puerto Rico should be higher, but hey, I give you the official figures. And notice that this is higher. It's record high compared to maybe what was happening in 2012, when it was 5.5% in the US, and in Puerto Rico it was 2.1%. So we have been seeing this trend in rising prices. And I hate to say it, but many analysts are saying that even though this may be temporary, how long is temporary? Well, maybe until 2022. So stay tuned. And in terms of Puerto Rico, we really have to get very serious regarding this infrastructure and regarding to deal with what's happening in the ports here with this just one company that manages the ports here in the San Juan area, and the union, which really are keeping Puerto Rico hostage, an island that is surrounded by water and hostage to just private companies and private union. And in terms of that, regulators that want to really tap on rates of the trucking companies, and which really will only end up in increasing and making more acute the shortages. So until the next time, don't forget to give us a like in the voice of Heidie Calero. Until then, stay safe. Thank you.